Hello guys, this is Sir Mars and you are watching Lectures ni Sir Mars. So sa video na ito, ang i-discuss natin ay tungkol sa pagkuha ng resultant force using the parallelogram law and the triangle law. Okay? So let us begin. Okay, so bago natin guys makuha yung resultant force using those methods na nabanggit ko, ay kailangan muna nating naiintindihan yung ibig sabihin ng scalar at saka ng vector. So, scalar muna. Ano ba yung scalar? Scalar is any positive or negative physical quantity that can be completely specified by its magnitude. So, ang ibig sabihin guys ng scalar ay mga quantities na magnitude lang yung kailangan, hindi kailangan ng direction. So, for example, length. Okay? So, yung length or yung haba ng isang bagay ay hindi naman kailangan ng direction. We can just specify the magnitude of the length. Katulad na din ng mass. Yung mass yung tinutukoy natin ha, hindi yung weight. Kasi yung weight is meron siyang direction, that is yung downward. Okay? Next is time. So of course, yung time is also a scalar. No? Kasi again, we can just specify this quantity using the magnitude. Walang direction. Okay? So, yung vector naman, yung pagkakaiba niya sa scalar is that the vector is any physical quantity that requires both a magnitude and a direction for its complete description. So, kailangan dito ng magnitude and kailangan din ng direction. So, a vector is shown graphically by an arrow. So, usually, nire-represent natin yung isang vector by an arrow. Okay? So, example ng vector ay force. Of course, yung force is meron siyang direction. It is either downward, upward, to the left, to the right. Okay? So, meron tayong direction ng force. So, this is a vector. A position. So, a position or location ng isang point is a vector because kailangan natin ng magnitude, no? And a direction. Northeast, northwest, mga ganun na mga position, okay? Kailangan natin ng direction nun. And kailangan din, of course, natin ng magnitude. And of course, meron tayong tinatawag na moment, okay? So, this is also an example of a vector. So, yung moment is force multiplied by the perpendicular distance. In the future, pag-aaralan natin to ng madaming beses. Again, yung vector natin is nire-represent siya ng isang arrow. Okay, graphically. Okay, so for example, may nakikita tayo ditong arrow. So, itong point na to is tinatawag natin siyang tail. Okay, that is the vector, kung saan nagsisimula yung ating vector. Tapos, itong point na to is yung arrow. Okay, dyan nag-end yung ating vector. Okay, so, usually, yung ating vector is measured by its magnitude. Okay, so yung magnitude natin is usually depende sa length ng ating arrow. So, for example, yung ganitong length is 1. Na may 1 siya na measure. So, ibig sabihin, itong ating vector na to is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units siya na vector, the vector A. Tapos, yung direction is, of course, yung direction niya dito is 20 degrees upward to the right. So, that is the direction of this vector. Okay? So, ayun. So, naiintindihan na natin guys yung ibig sabihin ng scalar at saka ng vector. So, again, ulitin lamang natin. Yung scalar ay magnitude lamang yung kailangan, no? Para ma-describe natin yung quantity. Samantalang yung vector ay kailangan natin ng direction, magnitude at saka direction. Okay? Isa pang example guys ng scalar is speed. Okay? So, yung speed is walang direction, magnitude lang yun. Yung vector is, for example, velocity. Kasi yung velocity is speed plus yung direction. Okay? That is the velocity. Okay? Sige. So, dito tayo guys, no, sa mga operations ng vector. So, kailangan marunong tayo guys, no, ng pag-solve no, ng vectors para makakompute tayo later on ng resultant forces. Unahin muna natin yung multiplication and division of a vector by a scalar. So, yung vector, i-multiply natin ng scalar or i-divide natin ng scalar. Okay? So, if a vector is multiplied by a positive scalar, its magnitude is increased by that amount. So, example. So, for example, we have here a vector A. So, ito yung length, guys, ng ating vector A. So, ngayon, pag minultiply natin ito ng 2, so, yung 2 is a scalar, di ba? Kasi magnitude lang yon. So, 2 times A will be 2A. So, bale guys, no, ito na yung magiging representation ng 2A. no, that is, madodoble yung kanyang length. Okay? So, usually, ganun yung ginagawa natin, guys, no? So, nire-represent ka natin kasi yung ating vector ng isang arrow. So, usually, yung length yung nag-represent nung kanyang magnitude. Okay? Multiplying by a negative scalar will also change the directional sense of the vector. So, for example, we have here a negative a. So, ibig sabihin guys, no, yung a natin kanina, kapag multiply natin siya ng negative 1 na scalar, so magiging negative a siya, so magiging baliktad yung kanyang direction. Kasi nga, yung negative natin is opposite in direction. Okay, so for example guys, yung ating negative a na to na vector ay dinivide natin ng 2. Ang mangyayari ay magiging negative a over 2 and therefore makakalahati din yung kanyang length. Okay, so that is how we multiply and divide a vector by a scalar. So dito tayo guys sa vector addition. Okay, so paano nga ba tayo nag-add ng mga vectors? Okay, so when adding two vectors together, it is important to account for both their magnitude and their direction. So, kailangan makonsider natin guys yung magnitude at saka yung direction kapag ka nag-a-add tayo ng mga vectors. So, meron tayong tinatawag na parallelogram law. So, yung parallelogram law, ganito yung ginagawa natin. So, for example, we need to add the vector A and the vector B here. So, ang gagawin lamang natin guys is ilalagay natin yung ating dalawang vectors at nang pareho yung kanilang initial point. So, ganito yung mangyayari. So, ayun. So, dito yung kanyang initial point. Tapos, pagkatapos niyan, ay magdodrawing lamang tayo ng lines parallel sa tip ni vector A. Magdodrawing tayo ng line parallel ni B. And sa tip ni B, ay magdodrawing tayo dito ng line parallel to A. So, ito yung mangyayari guys, no, kapag kaganon. So, ayun. So, nag-drawing tayo nitong line na to. Itong line na to is parallel to B and itong line na to is parallel to A. So, nag-intersect yung ating lines dito sa point na to. So, wala guys, yung ating resultant ngayon ay mula dito sa kung saan sila nag-intersect papunta dito sa may point P. So, yan na yung ating magiging resultant or yan na yung sum ni A at saka ni B. So, ang tawag natin dito is a parallelogram law kasi nung time na nagdo-drawing tayo nito at saka netong line na to ay nakabuo tayo ng isang parallelogram. So, that is how we add vectors using the parallelogram law. So, take note of that guys, no, kasi gagamitin natin yan, no, mamaya kapag ka nagsosolve na tayo ng mga resultant forces. Okay, so meron din tayong tinatawag na triangle rule. So, ano ba yung triangle rule? So, for example, we have two vectors, vector A and vector B. So, ang ginagawa natin guys dito sa triangle rule is, unlike sa kanina, di ba yung kanina, is pinagdugtong natin yung kanilang parehong tail, tapos gumawa tayo ng mga lines parallel to both vectors, okay? So, ngayon, ang gagawin natin is, ang gagawin natin dito is, pagdudugtungin natin literally yung dalawang vectors. So, ibig sabihin na to guys, no? For example, si vector B, ang gagawin lamang natin is, ilalagay natin yung kanyang tail papunta sa may head ni A. So, bali, ang mangyayari nito guys is, ganito. Yung tail ni B, ilalagay natin sa head ni A. And then, yun na. Yung ating magiging resultant, R, is mula sa tail ni A papunta sa may head ni B. So, that is the R, which is the sum of vectors A and B. So, ang tawag natin dyan is triangle rule kasi nga, nakagawa tayo dito ng triangle. Okay? Pwede din namang baliktad, guys. Again, no, sabi natin kasi, yung addition is commutative. Ibig sabihin, yung A plus B is also equal to B plus A. So, for example, gusto natin unahin si B, tapos si A naman yung susunod. Ibig sabihin, yung tail ni A ay ilalagay natin dito sa may head ni B. So, ang mangyayari dito is magiging ganito, guys, no? So, si B yung mauuna, tapos idudugtong natin si A sa kanya. Okay? So, yung ating resultant ulit or yung ating sum nung vectors B at saka A is mula dito sa may tail papunta sa may head ng ating pinagdugtong-dugtong na mga vectors. Okay? So, that is R, that is B plus A. So, again, ang tawag natin dyan ay triangle rule. Okay? So, sa principle na yan, no, dyan natin i-compute mamaya yung ating mga resultant forces. Okay, so how about kung yung ating mga vectors ay pareho ng direction? So for example, we have collinear na vectors. So for example, we have to add vector A and vector B and they are both in the same direction. So pagka ganun, madali lang. Ipagdugtong lamang natin yung dalawa. Again, yung ating tail ni B will be at the head of A. Tapos, yung ating magiging resultant nito or yung ating magiging sum nila is mula sa may tail ni A and papunta sa may dulo na arrow, which is the head. Okay? So, that will be our R, or that is the sum of the vectors A and B. Okay? So, ganun lang siya guys kadali sa vector addition. Okay? So, dito naman tayo sa vector subtraction. The resultant of the difference between two vectors A and B of the same type may be expressed as, so bali guys, kung ima-minus natin yung isang vector from another vector. So, for example, gawin natin tong R prime since this is already subtraction. R prime is equals to A minus B. Kung ima-minus natin si B kay vector A, then para lang tayo nag-a-add pero yung isa is negative. So, kapag ka ganun, madali lang. So, for example, this is our vectors A and B. So, kung ima-minus natin si B kay A, ang mangyayari lamang is ganito. So, si A is pag ganun na direction, using the parallelogram law ito, no? So, kung si A pagpapunta direction na ganyan, then si B natin is in opposite direction kasi minus B naman to. So, para lamang tayo nag-a-add dito, pero negative yung isa. So, ito yung ating magiging resultant and that will be the A minus B. Okay? Pwede din naman na triangle rule yung ating gamitin, pero of course, kabaliktaran yung ating direction kay B dahil nga minus na siya dito. So, bale, si A ay pag ganun papunta doon, then sa kanyang head ay doon natin i-connect si negative B na vector. So, kaya ganito yung ating magiging R prime. Okay? So, again, no, applicable pa din yung ating parallelogram law and yung ating triangle rule kahit na nagbe-vector subtraction tayo. Ang pagkakaiba lang is meron tayong negative dito na vector kasi nga may subtraction. Okay? So, dito na tayo guys sa pag-compute ng resultant ng system of forces. Okay, so the magnitude and direction of the resultant force can be computed using the vector addition of forces, that is either the parallelogram law or the triangle law. Okay, so ano ba yung ibig sabihin guys natin pag sinabi nating resultant of a system of forces? So for example, meron tayong hook dito, no? Meron tayong hook. Tapos sabihin natin mula sa dulo ng hook na yan ay hinihila natin yung hook na yan papunta sa ganitong direction. So meron tayong F2 and hinihila din natin siya papunta sa ganitong direction, that is F1. So ang tanong, kung meron tayong mga magnitudes ni F1 at saka ni F2, then what will be our resultant force? Okay, so of course, pwede natin gamitin dito yung parallelogram law katulad na nakikita natin. Gagawa tayo dito ng parallel lines sa dalawang forces, ito at saka ito. Then this will be our resultant. So kumbaga guys, yung idea ng resultant ng forces is kung ano yung net na force na nag-act doon sa isang object or doon sa isang particle. And yung direction is kung saan papunta yung object na yon after mag-act ng mga forces. So that is the resultant ng system of the forces. Okay? So, ayun guys, no? So, madali lang. Kapag kadalawa lamang yung ating forces, madali lang, di ba? We will use the parallelogram law. So, or triangle law. So, madali lang yun, no? Na-discuss natin to. So, kapag, for example, we have two forces, F1 tsaka F2, all we need to do is gumawa ng mga lines parallel sa ating forces and yung ating resultant will be from the tail papuntang head kung saan nag-intersect yung ating drawing na line. Okay? So, that is the parallelogram law or pwedeng gamitin yung ating triangle law, which is i-drawing lamang natin yung ating mga vectors or mga forces, head, tail to head, then tail to head na set. Okay? So, madali lang guys, no, kapag kadalawa lamang yung forces. Okay, so may mga times guys na instead of getting the resultant, yung component yung ating kinukuha. Ibig sabihin na to guys, yung resultant yung given, ano naman yung ating dalawang forces. Diba kayo na, yung ating idea is meron tayong dalawang forces, kinukuha natin yung kanyang resultant. So, ito yung ating forces, F1 tsaka F2, kinukuha natin si F sub R, which is the resultant ng dalawang forces na yon. So, may mga times na yung problem naman is F sub R yung given. So, kung si F sub R yung given, ang usual na tanong is what will be the values of F sub 1 and F sub 2. Okay? So, ganun. So, ang tawag natin dyan ay components of a force. Okay? Okay, so sometimes it is necessary to resolve a force into two components in order to study its pulling or pushing effect in two specific directions. So, again, no, kabaliktaran ito guys nung kanina. Yung kanina, kumukuha tayo ng resultant from two forces. Ito naman, resultant yung given, kailangan natin kunin yung dalawang forces. Okay? So, katulad nito, force F yung given. So, all we need to do guys is parang katulad kanina, parallelogram law, drawing tayo ng line parallel to the v-axis and drawing tayo ng line parallel to the u-axis. E di malalaman na natin ngayon yung ating dalawang forces. Ito si F sub u at saka si F sub v. Okay? So, kapag ka nagawa nyo na yan guys, madali na lang kasi all you have to do is to consider yung isa sa triangle. Either etong triangle na to or eto. So, madali na lang yon. So, parang ganito guys, no? If we consider this one, then ito na yung triangle na yon. So, ito is the FU, ito is yung F, at ito will be equal to F sub V. Diba? Kung F sub V ito, edi F sub V din dapat ito kasi same sila ng length. Okay? So, ito naman tayo sa resultant of a system of forces. So, what if more than 2 yung ating mga forces? So, if more than 2 forces are to be added, successive applications of the parallelogram law can be carried out in order to obtain the resultant force. Okay, so ito yung example, no? Explain ko lang sa inyo yung figure na to. So, yung original na problem dito guys is meron tayong tatlong forces. Yung mga black na forces, yun lamang yung consider natin. So, si F1, ito yun. Si F2 at saka si F3. Huwag muna natin pansinin si blue ha. Okay. So ngayon, ang ginagawa natin dito guys, kung marami tayong forces, kanina kasi madali lang kasi dalawa lang yung ating forces. So ngayon, ang nangyari is tatlo na yung ating forces at gusto nating makuha yung resultant nitong tatlong forces. So ang gagawin lamang natin dito is successive application of the parallelogram law. Una natin consider ay si F1 lang muna at saka si F2. So si F1 at saka si F2, ito yon. Si F1 ay ito naman si F2. So ang gagawin lamang natin is gumawa ng line parallel kay F2 at ito naman ay line parallel kay F1. So ayun, so ito na nga yung ating resultant ni F1 at saka ni F2, itong blue na ito. Okay? So ngayon, itong si resultant na to, siya na ngayon yung magre-represent kay F1 at saka kay F2. So, para makuha naman yung ating final, dalawa lang yung ating force, no? Kasi kinuha natin si sum ni F1 at saka F2. So, ito na lang yung ating force at saka itong si F3. Yun na lang yung hindi natin nakaka-consider. So, ganun din gagawin natin dito guys, no? Parallelogram law. So, gawa tayo ng parallel line to F1 plus F2 and itong parallel line kay F3. Then, ito na yung ating magiging resultant ng lahat ng tatlong forces na ito. Okay? So, ito na nga yung ating F sub R. F sub R yung ating symbol. Okay? So, ayun. So, that is how we get the resultant of a system of forces. So, ayun. So, mag-solve tayo ng problem, guys. So, sa next video ay mag-solve tayo ng problem at itong problem yung ating iso-solve. Okay? So, see you in the next video.